Welcome to our Marquee 101. My name is Jessica Solorzano. I am the Graduate Assistant for Student Organizations, and I will be giving you a tutorial of Marquee, also known as Presence, and how to navigate the platform as a Student Organization Officer. So first we'll begin by looking up Marquee Presence online. And then what we're going to do is sort of scroll and see the student-facing side of it and what students are saying when they're connecting with you. So seeing what upcoming events are featured, seeing what things are coming up, and also seeing new organizations that you might be interested in checking out. It's also important that you download Marquee onto your phone or devices in order to see what events your organization has been approved for, and what upcoming things are happening, just accessible at the palm of your fingertips. Now, with that, I will say you're going to see a lot of information for you to utilize. So as an organization officer, you will want to be using each of these components, so organizations, events, forms, and more. But you're going to have another level of administrative ability, especially as you find yourself becoming an organization officer. So we'll begin by logging in, and you're going to use your Marquee credentials in order to get into your admin dashboard. So now that I'm logged in, I'm going to scroll down so I can show you that I'm officially logged in. It has my name, my email, and then again where I'm a member of. And so with that, I'm going to take us into our admin dashboard, which is what you'll be using as an organization officer. And so once we get in there, take you here, you'll see our admin dashboard. Now on the side, you're also going to see a bunch of features that you're going to have access to. Yours are not going to have the same amount as I do, just because I'm an administrator of all of Marquee. And so I'm going to have a few more accesses than you will, but that's perfectly fine. You're still going to have a lot of access as a officer. So without further ado, I'm going to show you a couple of the specific dashboard features that you'll be able to utilize as an organization officer. So I'll start with people. So given that this is a transition period, it's really important that you're transitioning your officers right away in order to set them up for success and in order for them to jump right into activity as normal. And so I will go ahead and search myself so I can sort of show you what that looks like. So some folks are going to have a lot of access, which you'll see that I'm a user. So it's really important that folks who are utilizing Marquee, especially in the administrative side, have user access. So you can see that if it didn't necessarily say that I was a user, this drop down with 3 dots would indicate and say, ask if I want to be added as a user. And in that case, we'd say yes. And then it would open up our profile, which here we have mine. And so you can see what I have access to. And if my accesses were to change for whatever reason, we could go ahead and edit them. And so you as organization officers are going to have be organization administrators, and for you specifically, you will have access to create events, edit events, add attendees, and add bulk attendees. So those were the accesses that you'll have, and you will only be able to grant the accesses that you have to another officer. So you will not be able to have the same accesses as I do, but again, it's not really necessary for you as organization officers. So it'll be an organization administrator, and then it'll be the name of your organization. And this will be super important in supporting the continuing officers, and also as a new officer to know when you're transitioning and to ask for those accesses prior to the previous president's departure from the role. Now with that said, let's jump into organizations. So here you can also see which organizations are active, where they're meeting, and how to update your organization page. So for example, the OEI is right here. And since we're a university department, we don't necessarily have specific meeting times, but we'll have our office location, we'll have our category, and we can have past events. So what's important about this is students will be able to edit some features here. So if I wanted to go in and set a meeting time, I totally could. If I wanted to set a meeting location. So if you have those things set for the semester, that's perfectly fine for you to go in and edit that. And then additionally, something that I want to point out is being able to edit your roster. Now this is super important in the transition period as well, because you're going to want to ensure that your officers are updated to represent what that looks like, especially in transition and especially during this period. So it's really important and crucial that you are editing those features. So for whatever reason, if we were to want to change my role specifically, then we could change me to something else. So if you're having a member become an organization officer, you're going to want to change them from a member to whichever role that they're filling. Right now, I'm not going to make any changes to my role just because I don't want to mess with the platform at all. And so it's going to say that no changes were made here specifically, which is completely fine because we obviously know that. But it's super important that you're updating the information and you're updating your roster so that it's reflective of your group membership. So when you're sending out emails and communications to your organization, they are well aware of getting that information. Now, what's important also is to look into your attendees, especially when you're hosting and facilitating events. So let's jump into events first. So as an organization, you're likely going to want to host events where you can invite Marquette University's community, maybe potentially other campus community. And so what you'll want to do is begin by filling an event request form. Now in this form, you're going to have the ability to provide us content and information about your planned event so that we're able to best serve you and also able to approve your event and ensure that you're just following all the procedures and policies, and we'll connect with you if we need any additional information. So you'll start out by providing us with an event name, an event theme, who the sponsor is, and you as the host. Then you'll give us a brief description of the event itself, a start time, an end time, date and time, a proposed space, a cover image, and if you have a self-made like promotional material or flyer from your organization, you are more than welcome to upload it. And especially we actually encourage you to upload it because you'll need it to be approved if you want to promote it on your social medias or if you're interested in just promoting it around campus through marketing. So that's another thing. And ensuring that you're filling out the appropriate waivers if waivers are necessary, but ensuring that you're filling out all of these questions and being as detailed as possible with us so that we're able to approve your event at your leisure. And then once you're fully done completing the event, there will be a square that pops up here. And let me just demo what that looks like. So if you were to put like a training here and then you scroll up and maybe so you'll see that you can submit the event for approval, and that's what you'll end up hitting when you're ready to submit your event request. And then the OEI will be informed of your event request and we'll start to begin to look at it and see if we're able to approve it or whether we have to connect with you to get some additional details to help support you get approved. Now with that, with your events and whether you say that you're fully approved, something that's super important is looking at your events and the attendees. So I'm going to take us back to events and see what this looks like. So what's specifically important about each of these events specifically is ensuring that you're using the checkpoint code to get folks checked in for events and ensuring that you're doing this, especially because you can add them to your roster later on, and that's going to be beneficial for you as organization officers. Now, what's really important about each of these things as well is being able to add attendees. And so if for whatever reason you have a past event where you just wrote out a list of attendees, this is going to be super important for you to be able to later, add them in bulk when you're able to, and also adding them to your roster at your leisure. Now, with that said, these are some of the most important features for organization presidents and officers themselves. And so here are a few more things that are going to be beneficial for you, which I'm going to actually take you back to the student mode because that's likely how you're going to see it. but it's important to know that your forms that you'll find here are going to help support your needs as students. And so this is especially important if you're looking to get like student org funding. And yeah, so that's just a little bit of what we had provided for you for our Marquee 101. We hope this was super beneficial, and know that we are accessible for you at your needs, and know that you can reach the student organization team at engaged@marquette.edu. Thank you so much, and take good care.